Hey guys, welcome back. I know this video is going to be a software video on how we're doing the Mac to Linux switch, but that one's going to be another week or two out. Sorry, I'm still working on the system here, as you can see on the screen. I want to set up this Timeshift system snapshots just in case I have some kind of issue. Let me pull up a Finder. I'm not on a Mac. Let me pull up a file manager. Right, so I've got this 6 terabyte drive in my system along with my 256 gigabyte SSD system folder that came with this system. So I want to be able to take that 256 gigabyte and time shift it or back it up to that 6 terabyte drive, because what I did is, and when I put the 6 terabyte drive in, and sorry I don't have a video on that one was it was a relearning process for me. That took me a little while, and I kind of got caught up in the searching and the troubleshooting and all that, so I didn't get a lot of footage on that. I apologize, but you know, I'll try to find some links and stuff and do an overview video on it, because everybody's systems it's different, right? So that's going to be a hard one to satisfy everybody on. So we'll get to that later, but basically what Timeshift does is it just does an rsync, which I have videos on the Mac even when I did rsync between drives. To keep them up to date, and what it will do is on the first run, it's going to take your system drive, copy it over to the 6 terabyte drive that I have, and then it'll run incrementally, which means that it's only going to grab what changes and move it over, so it'll run much faster on future runs. So let's get into this. So it looks like we go into administration. We hit menu or our super key, which is our Windows key if you have a Windows keyboard. You do administration, and then there should be a time shift. Right here we go. You guys see that? Yeah. You're going to have to put in your password, because you know you're going to need admin access to run this thing. Now let's get the setup wizard over here. And also I forgot to mention, in the install documentations, the Linux Mint install guide, there is a section called System Snapshots, which is what Timeshift is. So we're going to use rsync right here. The wizard will ask us, what do you want to use, rsync or BTRFS? We're going to use rsync. And then it says estimating the file size. So we will wait patiently while this happens. It is a beautiful sunny day today. It's fall. Looks great. Okay. So we want a snapshot location. We're definitely going to choose the big drive, right? Because here's our little one, here's our big one. We're going to choose the big one. Now, one other thing you should note, it does not need to format your location drive. So my big drive, I've already linked my home folders over there, symlinked them, so I can keep my music, you know, my documents, all that stuff on my big drive. Now, in another video, we're going to get an external drive, put it on this thing, and we're going to sync our big drive to the external drive. So we have, you know, basically like, you know, our documents and music and all that will be backed up then, but our system drive will be basically triple backed up at that point, right? We have our system drive, our 6 terabyte drive, and our external drive. So if we lose this one, you know, we can restore with either one of those. So that's the plan anyway, long-term plan. So we select our big drive. We do next. Now it says we got to do a time setup here. We're going to do it daily, I think. We're just going to keep it like this. Do daily. Set up cron emails for scheduled tasks. We may uncheck that. So snapshots are not scheduled at fixed times. So that's what I mean. Like since they're not scheduled at fixed times, when you run the first one, it's probably going to slow down your system for a bit, because it's got to do a lot of copying, right? So just keep that in mind. Maintenance tasks run once every hour and create snapshots as needed, and that's that incremental piece, right? So it sees a file change, it's going to copy it over once every hour, basically. Boot snapshots are created with a delay of 10 minutes after system startup. So scheduled snapshots are enabled. So let's just keep it as defaults for now, as daily. Okay. So there's my home directory, there's my root directory. User home directories are excluded by default unless you enable them here. I'm going to go ahead and exclude them because it's already on the big drive. And what we'll do when we get that external drive, we'll do everything on the big drive to the external drive. So let's go ahead and do next. Okay, schedule snapshots are enabled. Snapshots will be created automatically for selected levels. System can be rolled back to a previous date by restoring a snapshot. Restoring snapshots only replace system files and settings. No hidden files and directories and user home directories will be touched. Okay, so you can change that behavior, say, by adding filters and doing those types of changes. Now, here's the thing. In Linux Mint 21, this is really just kind of an automation process, right? You can do all this with rsync commands and then putting those commands, making them executable as a script, basically make a script, make it executable, and then put it in your cron job, so to make it run daily at a certain time or whatever. So this is really just, I like to say, how far Linux has come, right? To make it more, and I know people are going to hate on this, but to make it more Mac-like, right? Like, because Mac has a time machine, right? So this is replacing time machine. Now, the capabilities are very similar, right? This is just a graphical front end to all these terminal commands that have been there for years. So it's really just bringing in the average user and basically allowing Linux accessibility to them, right? Because before, if you didn't want to dig into those terminal commands and you didn't want to really learn the internals of the system, it was difficult. And it is still difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's still difficult. Like setting up a new hard drive, setting permissions, creating symlinks, right? That's still a lot of terminal work. Now, it has come a long way with some other options to do this graphically, but for me, some of that's just easier from the terminal, because I would use this, some terminal on my Mac, some in previous Linux. So there is still some learning curve to just some simple tasks like adding a hard drive, right? So keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and finish that. If we get our time shift window, it says it's active, and we're going to stop for a little bit and see if this ends up updating later, and we'll add to this video. Okay guys, you can see I've been hearing this hard drive moving and clicking, the big one, the 6 terabyte hard drive. It's a mechanical spinning disk, right? So you can hear it. And we have a snapshot right here. It says our system is Linux Mint 21 Vanessa. We could add some comments here if we wanted to, or whatever, or if we wanted to select that and we had a problem, we could just restore from here with Timeshift running. I hope I never have to do a restore. We'll find out. If I do have to do a restore, I'll definitely do a video on it, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we've got a snapshot now. So, and it will do this every day. It will do this incrementally, and luckily there's not a lot of data on this machine yet, so it didn't take too long. I actually closed down Timeshift and reopened it about 15 minutes later, and the snapshot was there. So anyway guys, that's a quick one on how I'm setting up Timeshift. As I get this external drive, I'll do an updated video on that, but pretty simple. Like I said, this has come a long way from doing all the rsync scripts and cron job edits and all that stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.